Hi, everyone. My name is Sloan Lambert, and I'm one of our attorneys here at Melone, Hatley, PC. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about holidays and why it's a good idea to revisit some of those schedules and agreements you have now before the craziness of the holiday season really comes into fruition. Holidays can be a time of fun and joy and togetherness, but when you've gone through a divorce or a custody dispute, it might come along with a couple extra headaches. That's why we're going to talk today about why it's important to review some of those documents and agreements you've come to before that time actually comes. This fall family checklist is going to hopefully help you remind yourself to look back at some of those things to see what the best steps are to take now if you do want to make changes to any kind of agreements before the time comes. Firstly, you're going to want to review your custody and visitation schedules. Custody schedules are going to talk about who has the children for Christmas, who has the children for Thanksgiving. Sometimes they flop back and forth year to year. Go ahead and review now who has your children when they have them so that then you know what to expect if they're going to be around the Thanksgiving table or if you're going to see them on Christmas morning. It may not be what you remember from last year. So go ahead and just take a look, review your custody schedule, and make sure you know what to expect this coming season. Another thing to look out for is if your agreement is vague or outdated, if it says that you're going to alternate year to year between who has the children for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and maybe you've been off the past couple of years, you haven't necessarily kept to the specific schedule, go ahead and contact an attorney to see what you can do about that vagueness, to see if it can't be clarified a little bit better for this year and years to come. Next, revisit your separation agreement. If you've gone through a divorce, or if you're not quite yet divorced, but you do have a separation agreement, go ahead and review what that says too. It might mention gift-giving schedules. It might mention who's responsible for buying gifts for which children, or things like that. If you don't have a separation agreement, then go ahead and contact an attorney to get one drafted up so that there's nothing that isn't crossed and no I's that aren't dotted to make sure that everyone has the holiday season that they're hoping for without there being any confusion as to whose responsibilities are what. Third, go ahead and revisit your child support and or alimony obligations. If you are obligated to pay child support or spousal support to your former spouse, then you don't want to get too wrapped up in buying gifts and getting excited about the holiday season and then not have those finances left over to make sure that you're fulfilling those obligations. If you aren't paying child support or spousal support, this might not be something that you have to worry about. But if you are, and you start buying gifts and you start having other things take over those finances, and then you don't end up having enough left over to pay your obligations, you could be in a real challenge. So go ahead and contact an attorney to see if there is something you can do about modifying those amounts to make sure that everyone has the holiday season that they deserve and that no one gets in trouble for not paying something that they're court-ordered obligated to pay. Fourth, make plans early for travel obligations. If you know that you're going to be traveling to see family or friends this holiday season, go ahead and contact your co-parent to make sure that they know about that well in advance. A lot of agreements talk about needing permission to travel out of state or out of the country, of course. And if your agreement says that, you want to make sure that you make those plans well in advance so that no one feels blindsided or out of the loop when it comes to you or their children. 5, know your rights if plans change. The holiday season can often be unpredictable for many reasons, whether it be illnesses breeding in the air, weather delays, or family emergencies. Know what you can do ahead of time to make sure that if those unpredictable things happen, you know the plan in place to make sure that no one is violating any portion of their agreement and that everybody knows what to do in the event of those emergencies or unpredictable things. Lastly, and perhaps the most important portion of this checklist is going to be avoid unnecessary conflict and keep a cooperative mindset. The holidays are supposed to be times of joy and fun and Thanksgiving, but if unnecessary arguments or breeding tensions make their way into those holiday seasons, then it'll do nothing but create unnecessary harm and chaos in your family unit. Family gatherings can, unfortunately, be minefields for disputes. People arguing over who is supposed to be doing what, arguing over ways that the past year has unfolded. But remembering that your child's best interest is always going to be number one and making sure that they know that and they can see you having a healthy relationship with other members of the family is going to help remind them that their well-being, even in the midst of chaos and disputes, is always paramount. The holidays should be about creating fun and creating memories, not about fighting over finances and unmet expectations. Go ahead and contact Melone Hatley PC today to make sure that 1, you understand what your obligations are for the holiday season, 2, make sure you fully understand what to do if you need to change those obligations for any reason whatsoever, and if you have a base to do so. And 3rd, just to prepare for what's coming up. This might be your first season not seeing your child for one of those holidays, and that can be really difficult. Go ahead and contact Melone Hatley PC today, your partner in divorce and estate planning, to talk about what you can do this holiday season to make it the best for everyone.